Welcome to Addicted to Quitting, the podcast where we dive deep into the art of breaking free from bad habits by becoming addicted to the benefits of quitting habits that no longer serve us. I am your host, Gentry, a divorced mom of 4 boys, certified public accountant, and a certified life and recovery coach, sober since May 1st of 2018. Today, I am talking about the difference between self-care and selfishness. This is one of my favorite topics because so many moms, particularly dads, particularly struggle with the idea of continuing to work on their self-care because they feel selfish doing it. So I'm going to break it down exactly what makes self-care not selfish and what makes self-care selfish, like when sometimes we do take it too far and how to know the difference. Join me today as we explore the power of becoming addicted to quitting and unlocking your true potential. This is Addicted to Quitting, the podcast where we empower you to break free, embrace change, and thrive. Let's get started on this transformative journey together. Welcome back to another episode of Addicted to Quitting, where we are going to continue to become addicted to the benefits of quitting habits that no longer serve us. So when I looked back at my journey to recovery, to ending my marriage, to leveling up my life, to leaving my job, to all the things that have led to just the best version of myself, me living in my true potential, me on a path that I was meant to be on, meant I had to quit and leave behind things that were no longer serving me. And something that I left behind on this journey was this idea that self-care was selfish. And I think that this is something that so many moms struggle with. And also, like, we have this feeling of like, it's almost a way of protecting ourselves for not working out, right? Like, oh, I don't have time and I don't want to take away time from my kids. Like, we almost create an excuse around not taking care of ourselves to justify why it's okay to not do it. And I want to talk today about why actually I feel like it's selfish to not have self-care. Why I think that you're actually doing your kids a disservice if you're not taking care of your health, if you're not taking care of your mental stability, if you're not taking care of your physical health, if you're not doing the things that are going to, one, keep you super present, to keep you in a really healthy space to be able to handle the obstacles that get thrown your way as a mom, hello, as a dad, hello, as a single parent, hello, so like somebody aging, if you're in your 30s and your 40s, like it's a lot. And if we're not taking care of ourselves, we're not able to give our kids actually the best version of ourselves. We're not at our optimal level. And then also just setting the example of taking care of yourself and setting the example that it's important to have that time, to have those boundaries around your own personal well-being, right? Like, did you want your kids to grow up and say, like, now that I become a parent, everything that I dreamt for myself, all my goals, all my aspirations, all my things that make me feel good, all the things that are good for my health are no longer valid, and now I just give everything to my kids and I am just invisible to the world? You wouldn't ever hope that for your kids. So why do you allow that for yourself? Why are you letting yourself sink into the nothing lands and taking every shirt off your back to give to your kids when really they don't need that? What they need is for them to see you be able to clothe yourself, take care of yourself, and then let that run over into them. So I want to talk today about the difference between the self-care and the selfishness and why it's so important to take care of yourself. And when we're thinking like long-term as well, your responsibility to your kids is to be around and be as present and be as healthy as you possibly can for as long as you possibly can. So if you aren't taking action today, right now in your life, in your 30s, in your 40s, if you're allowing yourself to be overweight, you're putting yourself at higher risk for disease, you're putting yourself at higher risk for complications medically, you are not going to be around as long for your kids possibly. Like, you're really cutting your time with your kids. And also you're putting the responsibility of you getting at some point probably needing to be taken care of on your kids much earlier, and it could be more dramatic because you chose to not take care of yourself now. So are you being selfish with your self-care? That's what we're going to talk about today. And we're going to talk about the difference between that selfishness and the self-care. So self-care and selfishness can sometimes be difficult to distinguish, right? There's some key differences between the two, though. So self-care refers to the actions and practices that individuals engage in to maintain and improve their physical, mental, and emotional well-being. So self-care is an act that is going to improve your physical, mental, and emotional well-being. It involves taking time to rest, recharge, attending to your needs. Self-care is essential for your overall health and functioning, and it often enables individuals to better care for others. Like I said, what your job as a parent is to be your optimal level, your most present, your most healthy, your most, if you're not taking care of your health, how much more likely are you to snap at your kids or check out and need to go to your room and binge watch TV and binge watch trashy shows while eating a tub of ice cream and crying, right? Like, if you aren't taking care of yourself, how are you able to fully take care of them? Are you seeing yourself have some of these bad patterns, to have these checkout moments where you're drinking too much alcohol, or you're overeating, or you're checking out with TV shows, because you aren't taking care of yourself? You aren't putting yourself and your well-being first, making you have to take these unhealthy breaks, and develop these unhealthy coping mechanisms. On the other hand, selfishness typically involves prioritizing one's own needs and desires at the expense of others. It often involves a lack of consideration or concern for others' well-being, and can lead to a negative consequence for relationships and communities. So, like the example I just gave with when you're not taking time for yourself, and you start using unhealthy coping mechanisms like drinking alcohol or binging food or checking out to TV, instead of physical health, instead of nourishing your body, instead of taking care of your mental health and taking care of your emotional health, what happens is you have these short-term fixes, right, that actually are detrimental to your kids. It's at the expense of your kids. You're choosing to not take care of your health so that you crash in the afternoon because you didn't eat healthy, you haven't worked out, you're overweight, right? Like, you don't have the energy for your kids, you don't have the mental capacity for your kids because you haven't worked on yourself. You haven't invested in what's best for you to be the best, most optimal level of running, right? And by not doing that, these short-term unhealthy coping mechanisms actually hurt your kids, which is the definition of selfishness. So it is actually selfish to not prioritize yourself. It is actually selfish to not prioritize yourself. You are choosing unhealthy coping mechanisms that are at the detriment of your kids because they're having to see you drink alcohol. You're not setting a good example. You're having to see you check out and not get things done. They're having to see you just overweight and unhappy and unhealthy. They're having to see you snap and lash out at them because you aren't taking care of that emotional well-being. You aren't learning patience. You aren't getting yourself in a place of peace. You are being selfish by not taking care of yourself. And I cannot say that enough. It is important for you to take care of yourself, for your kids to have a long life with you, for you to give them as much as you possibly can. You need to take care of yourself. So what does that look like? Some ways to differentiate between self-care and selfishness is the intention. So self-care is typically done with the intention of promoting overall well-being and functioning, whereas selfishness is driven by desire to prioritize oneself without regard for others. So when we are talking about self-care, we are talking about prioritizing the overall well-being of ourselves. So when we're saying like, hey, my intention with going to the gym today is to prioritize myself because it's good for me, it's good for my mental health, it's good for my body, it gives me more energy, it helps me make better decisions, it helps me be less stressed, it helps me overall. That is self-care. When you say, I'm going to go to the gym 3 times a day and I'm not going to pick up my kids from school, I'm going to make them walk, I'm going to make them do this, I don't want to be around them, I'm going to check out with working out, and I just want to be super, super skinny, and I want to be super, super fit, and I want to be a fitness model on Instagram. When you get obsessive and you're actually not taking care of your responsibilities because you have gotten so obsessed, and the intention has shifted from self-serving versus this is self-serving in a way of that it's prioritizing yourself without regard for others? Or is it saying like, I'm taking care of myself in this moment so that I can give to others better in the next moment, right? Like, so what is this moment? Even if it's like, there's times that I have to work out and I have to leave my kids, right? Like, and I'm like, oh, it's so selfish to leave my kids. Okay, so if I go work out in this moment, what does the next moment bring? And the next moment brings a mom coming home that's less stressed, right? Like there are times that I have to be like, I just need to get out of this house and I need to go to the gym because it's a mess and it's chaotic and I'm feeling a little bit overwhelmed, and self-care is super, super important. So I'm going to go to the gym. I'm going to get my workout in because I'm going to do it anyways. But it's going to help me reduce my stress. It's going to help me feel better. And the intention is that if I take this moment right now, it will make me better for the next moment. But if the intention is, if I take this moment right now, that I don't care about the next moment, that is where we start to distinguish if it's like, this is self-care, or is this self-care a self-serving without regard to others? It's super, super easy once you start practicing it, right? Like, is this moment so that I could be better for the next moment? What's the intention? Impact on others. So self-care may involve setting boundaries or taking time for oneself, but it does not necessarily harm others. Selfish behavior, however, often it disregards the needs and feelings of others and can cause harm or conflict in relationships. Similar to what I just talked about with an intention, right? So like, what's the impact you're having on others? When you have to take time away, right? Like it's you're setting boundaries, saying, hey, it's important for me to work out. This is something that's me prioritizing myself. I need to take time away. I need to take time at the gym. I need to do these things, which means I'm going to have to step away from my kids for a minute. But it doesn't necessarily harm them. I'm not putting them at in harm's way because I chose to go to the gym, right? Like I'm setting a boundary. I'm saying this is important for me. And like I said, in this moment of working out, it makes me better for the next moment to be back with them. Selfish behavior, though, is going to be like, I don't care what you guys need right now. I don't care that you're hungry. I don't care that you need a ride to your practice. Figure it out. I'm going to the gym. It's self-care. No, that's not what we're doing, right? Like we need to be considerate of others. We need to be considerate of how others feel about it. But an impact on others is setting boundaries and responsibly taking time for yourself versus selfishly having fits and throwing and causing harm and disregard for other people's feelings. Once you start to practice it, like I mentioned, it's just so easy to see like, okay, this is me setting a boundary. This is me taking time for myself. And in this moment, I am choosing to take care of myself so I can be better for the next moment. The third thing is balance. So the difference between self-care and selfishness is the type of balance. So engaging in self-care is about finding a balance between meeting your own needs and your responsibilities to others. Selfishness tends to prioritize one's own needs to the detriment of others. So balance. Like we're talking about the same example of going to the gym, the balance of we're not going 3 times a day and not feeding our kids and not taking care of our responsibilities and just saying like, I just want a nice butt, right? Like we're having balance. We're saying, hey, when I go to the gym consistently and just at least get a 30, 45-minute workout in, I feel better. And then I'm able to meet the needs and responsibilities I have as a mom, as a business owner, as an Airbnb host, as an employee. Like we might, if you're an employee, if you're as a partner, right? Like if you have a partner, your job is to get yourself better prepared for the world, for the war of the worlds, right? Like how can I better prepare to handle everything on my plate? My job with self-care is to better prepare myself for everything I have to take care of on my plate so I can make sure I am checking off every box that needs to be checked off. So the balance, engaging in self-care is finding balance. I'm taking this moment so I can be better for the next moment. Not I'm taking this moment because I deserve it and I'm special and I'm great and I screw everybody else and I don't care how they feel and I don't care if it hurts them and I don't care if they don't like it, right? No, balance, intention, the impact on others, balance. And the last is context. So the context in which actions are taken can also determine whether they are considered selfish or self-care. For example, taking time to rest and recharge after a long day may be self-care, whereas consistently avoiding responsibilities and expecting others to pick up the slack could be seen as selfish. So using the example of that is given here, that the rest, right? Like I really have to think about, is this moment that I'm taking in self-care so that I can better prepare myself to be there for the next moment? So am I choosing to take this moment because I need a quick reset, I need a quick rest, I need a quick break so that I can better serve in the next moment? Or am I checking out? Or am I checking out? And we can check out with working out. We can check out with resting. We can check out with watching TV. We can check out with food. We can check out with alcohol. We can check out with relationships. I have to 100% honest and admit that there was times in my sober single days as a mom, I would check out with like online dating. Like I'm just gonna scroll and chat and scroll and chat and scroll and chat just as a way to check out from the reality that I was lonely, right? Like I just had to, I was checking out and I had to address that. Like, okay, I don't want to check out. I don't want to go on these like mindless scrolls and these mindless, whatever. It wasn't healthy. It really wasn't self-care. I was like, oh, I'm trying to find a partner. No, I'm not. I'm trying to fill a void. I'm trying to check out with my time for a minute. So the intention, what's the intention behind what you're doing? How does it impact others? Is it a healthy balance? Are you making sure you're balancing like what you're doing in this moment? You're taking this moment so you can be better for the next moment. And then the context, are you making sure that it is truly you taking this moment to be better for the next moment? Or are you taking this moment and you're trying to use it as an excuse to not have to engage in your responsibilities and expect other people to pick up the slack for you, because that is not self-care. That is not self-care. Self-care is something that's saying, I'm going to do this. I'm going to set the boundaries. I'm going to take care of myself in this moment because I want to better show up for the people around me in the next moment. It is important to prioritize self-care and to maintain that overall well-being. Like I said, because your kids are relying on you. Like your employee, your employers, they're relying on you. Your partner is relying on you. And why not give them the best version of yourself, right? Like it's so unfair to you and to them to not give them the best version of yourself. Why wouldn't you want to be happier and healthier and have better habits and better routines and better structure, and have that time to reset yourself so that you can give to the world better? Take the moment so that you can be better for the next moment. All right, so I have a really, really fun thing for you. If you are ready to stop being selfish and start investing in your self-care, as I have a free 1-hour class that talks about how to do this. And if you want to just use the link below, then you can go and sign up for this free class. It's 100% free. And I was working on this because I'm like, you know what, in the next 90 days, we're going to be at the 4th of July. And imagine if people just decided to invest in their self-care right now. Like they started this journey to right now and we're like, I'm not going to be selfish anymore. I'm not going to have these quick, unhealthy binges anymore. I'm not going to drink alcohol anymore. I want to take a break from alcohol. I want to take a break from binge eating. I want to take a break from not being consistent with my workouts. I want to take a break from these unhealthy mindsets that I have. So I created this free mini course to help you start this process because I would love for you to invest just 90 days. Just take 90 days. 90 days to lean into your progress and lean into your growth. And I would love to help you on those 90 days. So if you watch the free mini course, I also have a special offer right now for 3 months free in the online community that I run. But hop over to that link below and let's start this journey. Let's start really investing in our self-care. Let's start investing in our health and quit the things that are no longer serving us, because that is how we level up in life. All right, so if you're ready to set intention to make sure that you're responsibly impacting others, that you have balance in your life, and you're taking things in the correct context, be sure to click that link below and let's get started on this transformative journey together. Thank you for joining me for another episode of Addicted to Quitting, where we level up by becoming addicted to the benefits of quitting the habits that no longer serve us. Much love to my favorite quitters. This is Gentry signing off. Keep going, keep quitting, and make sure you check out that free link below.